Well, here we are. It couldn't last, could it? It was always going to get wet again eventually. Does mean I'm out on the Triban, the RC500. Now I'm guessing the lens is going to get absolutely caked in water. This could be just a total waste of time visually, but it's 10 degrees. I've got a normal hat on. I've got gloves on, but I'm only wearing them because I think it's just muscle memory. Just habit. There we go. Anyway, full mud guards, RC500. Still got to get out and do the work, I guess. You know. But it's not cold. Oh, this is so good. So good. Very fine rain at the moment. Let's hope it stays there. And I'm not a complete madman. This is not going to be a long ride, but I am going to get out there and I am going to do what needs doing. It's quite windy. Haven't quite worked out where it's coming from yet. It's all swirling around the houses at the minute. Right, okay, so everything's just gone silent. So it's sort of coming up. Yeah, sort of coming up from the beach at the minute. Yeah. Nicely done, sir. Okay, let's take it easy. Warm up properly. So back on the Triban, the RC500 Plus, as I like to call it. So it came with Sora originally. Sora cranks, levers and mechs. Since our sort of road bikes went to Di2, it's now been upgraded to 105. Does mean I had to find some mountain bike hydraulic brakes, calipers to go on it, but I've explained that in a previous video and they work just great. Yeah, and that's really the only odd thing about it is road levers, road hydraulics, mountain bike calipers. Other than that, it's just a solid bike. Comfortable, fast enough, you know. Yeah, just brilliant. Position's good. Very close to my Merida. It's not exactly the same, but it's within millimeters. And let's be honest. Hello. No. We're good. Yeah, driving along on side lights. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder. Anyway, as soon as the nose dipped, I know they'd seen me. I didn't have to go around the roundabout to avoid them. Not sure I could have made that anyway in the wet. But anyway, we'll have to see. No, we won't have to see because it didn't happen. But yeah, we'll have to see what the road's like. It might be a bit oily because of course it hasn't rained for a while. So everything that's been deposited onto the ground will now of course be floating to the top. So the roads could be a little bit dicey. But I don't think I'm going to be pushing the grip of the tyres too hard this morning. But, oh yes, no shoe covers either. There's a thing. When was the last time I rode without shoe covers? Feels like forever. So what I've got is waterproof socks, waterproof and long, so they come up to just under the knee, and hopefully for the duration of the ride that means that they will hold off anything going down from the top for long enough. Obviously waterproof socks and gaiters is quite a nice arrangement, but these socks are particularly long, so it's not really possible. Got sealskin waterproof socks. They're a little bit shorter, and you can actually use them with gaiters, which is nice. It means I don't have to wear overshoes if I don't want to. Right, let's have some extra light, I think. Got glasses on, so covered in rain. It's not too bad actually, I can see quite well, but a little bit of extra light is not going to hurt in this situation. Try and keep them on for as long as possible. Slow down, really? Can't mean me. There we go. There's a dog walker hiding in the shadows there. Ah, yes. Yeah, into the wind now. I'm sort of facing the coast. So yeah, it's definitely coming off the sea. Generally means it's a bit warmer. That's why it's 10 degrees. And not 2 feels like -3. Yeah. Alright, look out for potholes. Yeah, so with the 28mm tyres on this one and the Lumel mudguards fenders, full length, it's a little bit less forgiving when you hit a pothole. It's got alloy wheels, so I'm not too precious about it. You know, it's a machine to be ridden for sure. But yeah, still good to avoid obstacles if possible. Goes back to that thing about being out early before the day starts. I do need to be back at a certain time. I do need to be available from a certain time. So the less walking home I have to do, the better. Blimey, it's been some rain. This does fill up down here when it rains, and I'm guessing the ground's taking a while to soak up the new rain, seeing as it hasn't been wet for such a long time. But yeah, there's obviously been quite a lot of rain overnight. Yeah, so on the last rides there was a comment about the difference between what I'm saying and what's being shown on the screen from the data stream, and you're absolutely right. I guess when you look down at the Wahoo, and I don't know if other people have noticed this, it'll say something and then you look 2 seconds later and it'll say something quite different. And I think when you put the data stream in to the computer, the telemetry is smoothed out. It's almost like a power meter. If you put it on just power, 1 second power, it's going to be jumping around all over the place. But if you put it on 3 second average power, you get more of an indication of what's really happening. And I think that's the same with a lot of the other telemetry. I think we all know, don't we, if you go into Strava after you've been on a ride, your Wahoo's telling you one thing, Strava is very slightly different. Not a lot, but so somewhere there is some processing of the data, whether it be by the Wahoo or Strava or even the telemetry software that I use for the videos. Wow, into the wind. Hopefully I'm doing it the right way around today. I'm going to zigzag a little bit rather than go straight into the wind like I did the other week. Right, you going or not? No, well done. Thank you. I just needed to know early. I wouldn't have minded as long as they got on with it and out of the way, but they did the right thing. So this is Townsend. It's funny when you're, wow. Woohoo! That got strong all of a sudden. Yeah, when you're riding at night, it doesn't really matter where you ride. There's no views, you know, it's just road. It's just pedaling. So would you choose to come through a housing estate on a weekend ride? Well, it's unlikely, isn't it? But this has a nice sort of horseshoe road, so I know I can keep pedaling. I can actually go down there to Cooper Dean. Yeah, I know I'm on the wrong side of the road, but all the holes are the other side. I'm tall enough to see over the hedges. Yeah, so that's the Cooper Dean over there, the roundabout and flyover. As you can see, constant pedaling all the way around, and that's kind of what I'm after at the moment with these rides. All right, 10 to 6. Yeah, so I'm back on the road I came up on, but I just got on the road round Townsend there, quarter of a mile further back. Right, I don't know what to do. Let's not go on the bike path. There's no need. Not this time of day. I could go in the bus lane, I suppose. Okay, nothing behind. Yes, we're going to have that. He's far enough away. There's 2 lanes. I'm not holding anyone up. What we got? No, they're going straight on. Now, I don't know if it's clever enough or not. It is. Yeah, there was only one other light loaded with traffic, so it didn't go through the full sequence. See, brakes are now well and truly wet. Right, where's Mr. Tesla? I think he's going to go into chase by the look of it. Come on. This is the main road. There's no other traffic. There we go. Will it stay green long enough? Absolutely no reason for it to change. Yeah. None of the other lights are loaded. It's nice and wide to here. Now I'll stay out of the puddles. Plenty of room. There we go. There's plenty of room on the left here to widen the footpath and make it shared. I mean, this bike lane here is probably one of the oldest in town. They've widened it once or twice, but yeah, they could do more there. Hopefully they will with the expansion to the hospital. Hopefully they'll improve the infrastructure there, because there will be new people, more people working at the hospital, more people visiting. So fingers crossed, we could be in for a treat. We'll see. At the moment, with the I got the big cycle lane infrastructure projects going on, and I think the intention, from what I read probably a good few years ago now, is to create some main routes crisscross and around the outside of BCP and to Wimborne and to the airport. So wherever you lived, you could actually just go and find one of those routes and jump on it, and you could get to pretty much anywhere. Not always direct, but you know, just making it available as an option. And I think we've spoken about, well, I certainly have spoken about that before, possibly not in my lifetime, but you know, where are we going when it comes to traffic and the roads and being able to get about? I don't think there'll ever be a replacement for the car if you want to get to another town. You know, motorways are safe and fast, direct. Yeah, you can sit on them for hours, but honestly, I've done enough miles in my life, over 1 million, and when you think about how many times I've been sat on a motorway going nowhere, it hasn't been that often in comparison to the amount of journeys I've made. I mean, it's not always been 70 miles an hour, but generally speaking, it's moving. Now that is of mostly experience south of Birmingham. But even when we go up north to visit friends and what have you, it's relatively quick. So I think that's where the car comes into its own. Cars around town, yeah, I don't think there's any future in that. There will always be people who want or need to use their car. I understand that. I think we all understand that. Accessibility, yeah, requirements for carrying stuff. You know, and I think the other thing about cars is that when you've only got one person in it, that's where it all sort of starts to fall down, because you're taking up so much space for one person to get somewhere. That's why other modes of transport are much more efficient. But of course, if you're spending close or over your budget every month to own a car, you don't want to leave it at home, do you? So again, I don't think anything will change too much in my lifetime, but yeah, surely one day something has to change. Certainly changing in London, that surprises me. Whenever I see a video of people cycling around London, just how little traffic there is. I used to drive to London and around London a lot, and it was mostly a nightmare. But now, I don't know, it just seems to be clearer, more free-flowing. I mean, thousands of bikes. And I think that's the thing when you live in a city or a town where everything is only, you know, sort of 2 or 3 miles away maximum. That's where alternative transport comes into its own, isn't it? Okay. Oh my God. See, I'm still going this way. I know I'm going to be into the wind coming back until I turn north away from the beach. But somehow I've still gravitated down to the same place. But like I said, I just need to get this ride done. It's not unpleasant, actually. It's lovely and warm. Got a wet face, but no biting wind to really affect that. Oh, yes. Yeah, I've got a side wind here, a crosswind from the right. So going back along the cliff is going to be exactly the opposite to what I had the other day. So there won't be any 23, 24 mile an hour sort of averages along there. Yeah, it'll be find a gear, stick with it, just keep pedaling. Wow. And I know I haven't fully turned into it yet. Okay, all good. Harbour Road. Spelt the continental way for all you guys on the other side of the pond. Actually, for you guys in Canada, did you keep the French spellings of things or the continental spellings of things? Or did you also get rid of the U's? I know certain areas up there have got strong ties with French past and background, so it'd be interesting to know. Or did you go the US route and banish them from your dictionary? Okay. All good. No workmen walking around. Actually, that's not too bad. I've now got a sort of cross headwind from the left. It's not absolutely into the wind. Of course, let's get out of their way. following. Do any of you remember the days when the guys used to stand on platforms at the back? Yeah. Yeah. You'd have the two loaders stood on platforms on the back of the lorry, and they'd just jump off where they needed to, chuck the bins in. Of course, all different now with wheelie bins. Ooh. Right, we've got a very slight tailwind actually. I'm liking this. I've obviously turned up the hill and it's now a sort of cross tail from the left. Unfortunately the bay goes like that, so I will be turning back into it gradually.